D&Dark is an absurd, over-the-top comedy horror adventure that is intended for older audiences. Content warnings can be found in the episode descriptions. Hello and welcome to D&Dark, a comedy horror adventure Realplay podcast, loosely based on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and starring some of history's most infamous monsters. I'm Danger Dan Jerz, and I am your host, / Crypt Keeper.
Hello everyone, my name is Aaron, and I play the Phantom of the Opera, our bard. Last time, I was trying to do the one explicit thing that we were set out to do, our one goal, the one thing we were asked of, and the whole time I was getting a bunch of bony back sass.
Hi, I'm Jordan. I play Larry Talbot, a lycanthropic warlock. Last time, we were in the museum to help out Imhotep with one specific goal. But, ooh, gosh golly, did things change when we figured out who was in the sarcophagus? Larry was freaking out, but he stuck to his guns and was like, all right, I am here to support my friend. Whatever the hell we do, I'm with them. And it just got more and more bizarre as we went on, leaving us in a very kind of sad and wholesome space, but also with some big questions that, are a little upsetting, especially with the update of our scrolls.
Oh boy.
You know, more and more bizarre as we went on is a pretty good summary of this podcast.
You're right.
Hello, my name is Daniel Cruz. I play Imhotep the Mummy, our cleric, and I had a session last week. There was a lot more feelings and
a lot of indecision.
You know, we were figuring stuff out. There was a lot of emotions. I'm glad that somebody is going to get their rest and they will have Precious and Sparkles to watch over her.
Oh.
Precious anyway. Sparkles is a rock right now.
Well, Sparkles is
true.
there. It counts.
Yeah, it counts.
And then, of course, when the night guard comes in, they'll be like, what the fuck is this dog doing here?
Oh, that's true. They're going to kick the dog out for sure.
I am Grayson. I play Jack Griffon, the Invisible Man. Last session, Phantom and I kind of teamed up. It was pretty awesome. I didn't know what our new goal was because someone didn't want to make up their mind. So Jack went to the default and was like, okay, last thing I heard, we wanted to get the scroll. So I'm going to go for the scroll to hopefully like speed things up, especially when we found out that it was a little bit more involved in matters of the heart than normally any of these situations are.
Hello, I'm Ben Magnet. I play Mary Frankenstein, our barbarian, and last time I did not go all smashy, smashy, stabby, stabby as I thought I was going to, but I did take out one cultist whose body I looted, and I found a thing. And over the course of the week, I have been thinking about that thing, and I'm kind of like, I'm a little scared about this thing. And I'm also, speaking as Ben, as Mary Frankenstein, I'm also very scared about the certain software update to the scrolls Imhotep's been carrying around.
Software update.
Oh, don't worry. I've got plans for that software update.
Let's just raise that I'm scared meter a little bit higher then, shall we?
Oh, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Nah, it's fine. The guy couldn't kill his wife or make a decision. We'll be fine.
Oh my God.
Don't worry, Ben. You are no more scared than I am.
Oh no.
So yeah, instead of fighting Oxenamun, Imhotep's wife, we actually talked to her instead. We resolved things diplomatically, as we say, instead of aggressive negotiations.
And with that, let's go ahead and jump back into the museum basement. All right, so where we left off last time, the rays of sunlight were just starting to creep in from cracks that had newly formed in the ceiling above you based on the magic shenanigans that you've all been going through and the damage that you tend to leave in your wake. Oxenamun has returned to rest in her sarcophagus, and day is beginning to break as you all are making your way away from the coffin.
As everybody starts to walk away, Imhotep has one hand on the coffin. He's not saying anything. He kind of looks at Aziz. He reaches up and scratches under his chin a little bit. Watch over her. She is like you. She is precious.
Oh.
And then he starts to walk with the group.
So when do y'all think this place opens?
I don't know, but I really hope not soon because there's some things I want to try and rifle through earlier. And also, I want to loot this body. Not so because I want to steal gold, but because I'm trying to find information on Raynor.
As you're examining the body, this is the remains of a vampire spawn who, weirdly enough, has not yet disintegrated. It seems like the unlife has been sapped from her body by the power of what you now know to be the pages of the Necronomicon. And being a vampire spawn, there's no weapons or anything on the person. It is basically just teeth and claws.
Can I pull out one of the teeth?
I'm afraid to know what you're going to do with it.
It's for something later on.
Oh, it's a cool necklace.
No, definitely not.
Sure, go ahead and take a tooth.
Yes. I have a vampire tooth.
Just one.
A spawn tooth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's not one of the pointy ones. You just grab a molar.
No, I want one of the pointy ones.
Should have been more specific.
Oh, my God. I chucked the tooth.
I just kind of sigh, but I look at the inpatient bracelet and I go to Larry and I go, Larry, look at this. I found it on the cultist over there that I beheaded. Does that look like anything to you?
Oh. Hey, Dan, backstory thing. Doesn't in the Wolfman movie, Larry's dad try and put him in an insane asylum or something?
He has a psychiatrist come to the house to have him examined. So Larry would be, at best, Larry would have been an outpatient.
So would I at least have an idea of what this...
Roll history.
All right, you got it. 19.
With a 19, you're examined by a psychiatrist from an institution whose logo you recognize on this medical bracelet. A lot of the name has been worn away, but you could tell that it is a sanitarium for the mentally disturbed.
Damn, who fucking called it last session?
Right? So Larry's gonna look at that and go, ooh, actually, I do know what that is for. That is for, a sanitarium. I've never been there before, but I did have a consultation with, one of their, psychologists.
Okay.
Is it someplace that we want to stop at?
If it came off of one of the vampire spawn, I imagine that they must be coming from there in some manner or fashion.
It wasn't the vampire spawn. It was the human whose head I gracefully separated from their body earlier.
Ooh.
But if this person came from a sanitarium, I don't know how I feel about that anymore.
Well, that might be where Raynor is sourcing his muscle. I don't know, but it's definitely worth checking out.
Or it could be that he's taking advantage of these poor people.
Does Phantom recognize the sanitarium logo?
Roll history.
Does Jack Rick? No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
Well, I'm terrified it might be Devil's Island. 14.
With a 14, you can see that it is in English and not in French or Spanish, and so it is a sanitarium that is located within Britain.
Got it. I don't know if anybody else is going to notice this or care, but an unbelievable tension just lifted off of Phantom's shoulders. Hey, Jack.
What's up, Phantom?
I just wanted to say, really good job. You killed it out there, and I'm so sorry. I actually, this time, did not mean to put you in the way of danger. I'm sorry.
With hearing that, Jack has got like a shiver that kind of like crawls up his spine.
I want to look at Mary and go, what happened? Did I miss something?
I don't know, but I think someone just tried to apologize to the other one.
I don't like it.
Right, that's enough of that. Let's get moving.
Okay. I make my way out.
I also make my way out.
I was going to tug on Phantom's cape and just offer my handshake out.
Never touch the cape again, but fair is fair. And I'll shake the hand.
All right. Imhotep,
Yes,
what does this mean moving forward?
the goal is unchanged. The reason has, but the goal is unchanged.
You want to enlighten us on the reason instead of leaving us in the dark like last time?
He kind of looks at Larry. I think for once leaving you in the dark is the wiser choice. Just know that the scrolls are more dangerous than we'd initially thought.
If it's something that's going to hurt me, I don't want anything to do with it, but
It's something that will hurt you.
I don't want anything to do with it.
He pulls them out of his bag. Here, would you like to look at them? And he starts waving them in his face. They will actively do you physical and mental harm. Would you like to hold them?
I just need to know that we can count on you. That's it. You want to play things close to the vest. I get that. But we can't have a standstill and all of us working towards a goal and you not updating us on what you're thinking.
You are always so clinical in your approaches to things. Have I led you astray?
In this last one, I'd say so.
Circumstances changed.
I understand, but we received no new ideas. Once I found out that it was your significant other, I didn't want to make an aggressive move, but we needed a call, and then everything was silent. I went with what I was told last time, altering things a little bit, but I think things need to be decided a little bit quicker. But as long as we have you on our side, that's all I need to know, at least for now.
You have me on your side.
Thank you. And Jack will head out.
As they're walking through the hallways, Phantom has effectively spray painted sick graffiti all over the place. There's like half masks on the walls.
Please, not the paintings. I really wanted to try and snag a painting.
Oh, it's definitely on anything that was a portrait. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Damn it. Oh, okay.
So as you start to make your way back up the stairs and down the hall, you enter back through the dinosaur exhibit, and everything is more or less how it should be. All of the dinosaurs are back in their little exhibit cubbies. However, unlike when you first entered, they all are still paying deference to the T-Rex in the center of the room.
Good.
Yeah, that's my girl. I go over to Teresa. I pat her foot, even though I know she's not moving. I just go, good girl. Just like looking up at just admiration and like, man, this thing was awesome. And I just walk out.
Jack walks by, not understanding why this is going on, because he didn't see anything during that moment.
Oh, you missed so much.
It's a pile of bones. Like, what else is there?
So much. So much.
The next floor up, as you kind of walk back into the hall of paintings and exhibits, this is the cannon room.
Can we look at this sword? I didn't know if it was only magical because of what was going on.
Sadly, it was destroyed.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's
that's
right.
exploded by
Shattered.
the cannon.
Wasn't there like other items in this area that we were potentially going to loot?
Yeah, there were more. I've only got the conch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the only thing that was stolen from here was the Atlantean conch.
Okay. Jack's gonna look at the paintings and then just be downtrodden. Like he just puts his head down because everything's been spray painted.
I mean, now it's modern contemporary art. Just got to find the right audience.
Imhotep just walking through with his hand over his eyes. I'm not looking, I'm not looking, I'm not looking, I'm not looking.
Underneath the Banksy art, they are great
I'm
paintings.
not looking, I'm not looking, I'm not looking.
Dan, is there anything of note else in here besides the paintings, the broken sword, and the cannon?
There's a couple of different vases. There's some antiques. A lot of them aren't really of note. The two that kind of stand out to you, it looks like there is a crystal ball and an old lamp.
Oh. Can I do an Arcana check on the both of them?
Yes, go ahead and roll Arcana.
All right. Ooh, 18.
Ooh.
With an 18, as you're examining both this crystal ball and this oil lamp, they do still seem to give off a little bit of magical energy. They're less prominent now that the sun is beginning to rise and the power of the scroll is wearing off.
Imhotep, do you want to take a look at these with me real quick?
If you like them, steal them.
We could always look at them later.
He walks on over. We do not have much time. What are we looking at?
A crystal ball and an oil lamp that I'm getting some magical mojo off of.
So take them and we'll look at them on the road.
I don't want to take them if they're cursed.
That's fair.
All of a sudden.
Can I do an Arcana check, I guess?
Sure. Make another Arcana check.
That is a 21.
With a 21, you are still within the lair of a mummy lord. And the mummy lord is still there, and so the mummy's curse is still lingering through the location.
Don't touch anything. Nobody touch anything. Everybody leave.
Okay.
Come on, we've got a shy gentleman to
touch
just
anything.
peel curses off.
No. You are. Imhotep walks over to Phantom and using his sacred bindings just starts pushing him. No, we are leaving. Go. There will be people here and I don't want them to see us.
I like to be seen.
Is the curse still on?
Oh, yes, the curse is very much still on.
Damn it. All right. Guess we'll have to come back and loot the place later then.
Oh, come on.
All right, and you make your way back to the ground floor. There is a great big hole in the ground that goes all the way through several floors, burned straight through where the ancient Mayan gemstone was. There is just a gemstone-shaped hole in the floor as it's disintegrated its way all the way down.
Imhotep looks up into the sun, looks down, looks up again. Huh. Okay. It just walks. That's it. He's just like
10 out of 10.
Great commentary. Love it.
Yeah, that's great.
As Phantom walks past the pedestal where Sparkles was, and it's very conspicuously empty, he's going to prestidigitate a little, 3-meter large replica and put it on the pedestal.
Nice.
That's fine. That's fine. They'll never notice.
It'll disappear in an hour.
It'll disappear in an hour, but it's fine for now.
Do I have to make a perception check?
Go ahead, everybody roll perception.
I got a 2. I will see shit.
I got an unnatural 22.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
You took my sight.
I can see everything.
Oh my god, the third eye opens.
17.
Nice.
13.
The two highest ones were Frankenstein Monster and Phantom, right?
I think so.
Yep.
Feels very fitting. The two of you notice as everyone is kind of making their way up and the sun is rising a little bit higher and there starts to be a little bit more commotion on the street. Nobody's headed towards you yet. Nobody's seen you coming out of the museum yet, but it'll be a matter of minutes before the museum staff arrives. While everyone else is preoccupied with that, the two of you notice that having grown out of the twin lions that guard the sides of the stairway leading into the museum are Igneous and Sandstone.
Yep. I nudged Phantom, was like, check it out, our friends are here.
Hell yeah, they are. What's up, gentlemen? And I'm gonna sit on the back of the lion on a side saddle. Did you finally ditch that boss of yours?
No, we're still working for him. We got a little bit of information that we need to relay to you guys. You know how, you big guy, what's your name again?
Me? Mary. Yeah. Mary Frankenstein.
Yeah, Mary, you know how you asked us to look for Victor Frankenstein? We actually found where he is.
Is he still up in the Arctic?
No, he's actually over what my brother's saying is there's a town a little bit north of here. It's Northampton.
Northampton.
We were able to track him down right there. We don't know where he is within the town, but something's not right about that place. There's some weird weather going on there and some strange... it's just a real bad vibe about it, you know? Yeah, I really don't like it.
He's here? He's here in English? I'm sorry.
You sold it with such seriousness that it took me a second to clock it.
That was so sincere.
You know what?
Inspiration.
Thank you.
Oh,
cool.
Jesus.
I'm just, Phantom looks over. It's like, what? Isn't this place called English? Everyone keeps saying they speak English, so I just thought that's what the country was called.
You're right.
Canonically, it is. Are Igneous and Sandstone unliving?
Let me double check. I believe so.
Would they be constructs or are they something else?
I thought they'd be constructs.
Yeah, that was my thought too.
They are elementals.
Oh, shit.
Okay. So before they bounce, is like, you don't happen to know why he's here, do you?
Give me 1 second. Let me hop back over
While you
here.
do that, I would like to flavor my 2 perception check as I'm going through my little bag of goodies and I just eat shit on these stairs. I just
I'm gonna just kind of help Larry up and take this opportunity to kind of have a private moment with him.
Mm-hmm.
Larry?
Yes, thank you for helping me. Ouch.
You're very welcome. I hope you are. He's like, kind of dusts him off.
Yeah, I'm okay. I've had worse.
I remember what happened to your bones during the full moon. I know you've had worse.
He's very crunchy. Yeah, a little scrape on the
Very
knees
crunchy.
is nothing.
As I was trying to say, though.
Yes.
He kind of looks over while the others are having the discussion with Sanson and Igneous. I think it might be in our best interest to understand what these pages say. When we find time, I'm going to read them.
You're going to read them?
Going to read them. You seem to be the most knowledgeable about what that would entail, and I do not wish to alarm the others. But whatever these pages a scribe was able to do, looks at his hand, things. And I believe it would be in our best interest to understand them better.
I hope you know by merely looking at the pages you're likely to invoke some ancient dark rite, and you might end up summoning something like my werewolf or even something much worse.
To properly protect them, I feel it is necessary to know what we are up against.
Okay. I don't know what you want me to do, but I don't want you to do this alone, so if you need me to help you read the pages, all I ask is that you help me figure out the pendant in exchange. And he pulls out the lotus pendant, and
he also pulls out his card of the day.
Oh, shoot! It's the lovers!
Oh.
A day late, a session late.
The lovers. You can use an action to know what a creature most desires. Once per short rest, if the creature you targeted has an intelligence score of 4 or higher, you can cast Charm Person or Charm Monster without expending a spell slot. I'm not going to use that on Imhotep. I've got plans for that one.
Oh, no.
Tee. But he's going to pull out the pendant, and he's going to say, Imhotep, I really don't want to help you invoke a terrible dark magic onto this world, but if it will help everyone in the long run, and if you will help me figure out how to use this pendant, I think I can do that for you. I'll help you with the pages.
I would not ask you to do anything so reckless. To let somebody know, somebody who might understand the ramifications when they are done. But I would not inflict this upon you. That being said, yes, I understand that this pendant is important. I truly wish I knew the adventure that happened, because as of time of recording this, that episode has not happened yet, and I want to hear it.
I don't know what happened on your end either. But if you'll help me with this pendant, I will do whatever it is you need me to do. I just hope you understand what sort of powers you'll be invoking by merely even looking at the pages.
I know that it is, for a lesser being, not a good choice. And the kind of little bit of that arrogance comes out. But for somebody of my skills, I believe it will be beneficial.
I hope so. Ultimately, I would advise against it, but I feel like I won't be able to sway you away, so I'll be here to support you.
Very well. And I think that we can go back to the other guys now.
Yes.
Sorry to steal the scene.
Do you know what my father is doing here?
Yeah, it looks like something pretty dangerous is keeping him there. I don't really know what all the nonsense you guys have been up to is about, but you know how that one vampire spawn guy Rainer's been making all these kind of power plays?
Yeah.
We think he might have something to do with this, and it's a little concerning.
And you said Northampton.
Yeah, Northampton.
I look over to Invisible Man, and Phantom is like, we need to go, and we need to go now.
Mary.
What?
Do you mind if we give the bracelet to Igneous and Sandstone? Maybe Marlowe can figure out where we need to go if we need to investigate this location.
Yes, that's actually quite prudent. According to Larry, this bracelet came from a sanitarium here in the country. It was on one of his cultists who is no longer walking among us, if you catch my drift. Can Marlowe find out to see where they come from, or or at least why he's targeting this sanitarium in particular?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take that and let the boss know right away.
Thank you. Greatly appreciated. If he's taking people who are trying to get better, then I possibly could have just killed an possible innocent.
I will cock.
Yeah. Yes, it would. And I told myself I wasn't going to do that again.
I would say anyone that can be controlled by someone like that, we don't need to worry anything about them.
But still,
You didn't do anything bad.
this is a philosophical conversation for later. Right now, we need to get to Northampton, and we need to find my father. If he's here and there are bad juju going up there, that cannot mean anything good for us, and it could possibly mean he's trying to recreate the exact same experiment that brought me into this world, and I cannot allow that to happen.
Whatever you say, big guy. I would like to thank Igneous and Sandstone. I don't know where Elemental falls on being alive or not as a D&D neophyte personally, but what I wanted to do was flavor each of their tongues with prestidigitation, something really pleasant as a thank you. Is that something I can do?
Yeah, I'm going to say you can.
The best vintage of French wine that I can remember from my home country is what I'm going to flavor each of their tongues as a thank you.
Without changing their expression, something about their demeanor seems more surprised as you do that. And Sandstone says, and Igneous says, whoa, so is this what grapes taste like?
Oh.
And they're head grapes, they're bad for us.
Oh, shit.
It's a flavor, you'll be fine. You're welcome, gentlemen.
Wow, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Thanks, buddy.
Oh.
It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience to get to meet incredible gargoyles like you. All right, but we're off.
Once again, thank you both for the information. It is tell Marlo I truly am grateful.
Before you guys go, I've been mulling this over for a little bit, and I was hoping that you could extend a desire that I have, mostly because I feel like Marlo is one to be trusted. If he's looking for an informant, ask him if he's got any room in his family.
All right, we can pass that along.
Oh.
Knowing him, he's going to be in touch with you before we get in touch with him.
I've also got his card if I ever need to really get in touch.
Oh, yeah, by the way, do not keep that near anything flammable. That's, he kind of has a little bit of a reckless disregard for other people's property.
I've kind of discovered, but thank you. I think that's going to be it for right now, but hopefully we can get in touch later. Also, has anything happened in Stratford?
Dan has to make some real quick decisions. There's been a little bit of social upheaval there, but nothing really catastrophic. It's mostly just a lot of bureaucracy, really. There's been some weird town hall council meeting type things going on. It really seems like Gonzo's gone all in on the whole not wanting to be called a fascist thing. She took that real personally. I don't know whether that's for the better or not, but we'll see what happens.
Can you let Marlo know that I attempted to leave a small trap for Raynor, and there's a small chance that he could gain entry to the nest, so he needs to be careful.
What? That was you?
I'm very new to your language. I need...
What my brother's saying is, what the hell were you thinking? All right, we gotta go right now. So we're gonna go take care of that. You go do whatever you need to do, but yeah, we'll pass that information along. But just know you might have lost yourself some points there, buddy.
Well, I'm hoping I'm more of an asset than a liability, at least with the way that I am. And I'll just pull my bandages off because I don't know if they've seen that I'm invisible.
I don't think so.
They?
Because I've always had my bandages on around them.
And Igneous says, that's interesting. Anyway, we gotta go. You really opened up the door for the wolves to get into the henhouse, so to speak. So we're gonna bust on out of here.
All right. Thank you. Sorry for any inconvenience.
And they both sink back into the stonework of the big lion statue, melting into the rock and just vanishing.
Oh, that makes perfect sense that they're elementals. They
Mhm.
just do that. Ah,
Man, that is a really neat trick.
that's so cool.
Jack will just be reapplying some of his bandages as he's walking towards Mary and Larry.
While Imhotep hears it, like, wow, that is a pretty cool trick. He's like, I have that spell. I can do that, meld into stone. It's not that cool.
We haven't seen you do it.
I haven't needed to do it.
So do it now.
Everybody's still standing on the steps, so Phantom's gonna drift the cart out into the street and be like, get in, losers, we gotta go.
We're going shopping.
And as the cart drifts up to the front, you hear some footsteps behind you as some security guards are beginning to walk up towards the museum, and they see the doors just wide open.
We really need to get the F out of here now.
In the cart.
Jack's going to sit on top of the ceiling or whatever and just...
The ceiling?
Gonna jockey it.
He wants some time to think now.
As we peel out, I'm gonna press the digitate, kiss my ass on like the street in front of the museum.
So on the sides we have suck it Rainer, and then on the other side it says kiss my ass.
Well, on the street beneath us as we're peeling away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Classy.
And the guards are walking up and they're like, oh man, it's too early. I hate having the morning shift. What's... Oh, God, what happened?
I knew I should have called off today.
The night crew, am I right?
Yeah, who closed last night?
So, you take off in your carriage. You all go ahead and take a long rest.
Ooh, long rest.
And then from here, is there anything else that you guys want to do or any other discussions you want to have? Or do you want to just plow straight ahead?
It depends. Where are we plowing straight ahead to?
Northampton.
If possible, I want to queue up a one-on-one conversation with Erik.
Oh,
It's
shit.
long overdue. Let's go.
No.
It sounds like we have a bunch of things to do.
What I will suggest then, if you want to, before going to Northampton, make a quick stop, you can go to the safe house that Jack has acquired at the Harker Estates.
Yay!
Would we just consider that like that's the long rest as we went there and then from there we left?
Yes.
Okay.
Jack, since it is your safe house, I want to give you the opportunity to describe
Give
your
us the
safe
grand
house.
tour.
When we pull up to the Harker Estates, it literally looks like a stereotypical brick and mortar building. There's at least 3 different levels. The ground level where there's like the kitchen, the dining room, the living room and stuff like that. The second floor is kind of like the workspace. And then the upstairs has, I don't know, because Jack wasn't planning on having other people, 1 bedroom, but then there's other rooms in there that can be turned into bedrooms that he was probably just going to use as like storage areas. What I had imagined was that when Jack left the Americas, he pretty much gave all his cash to acquire anything he could get as a safe house, whether it was going to be a shack or it was going to be something like this. Like the house itself is probably pretty slim. Like it's not big and grandiose. It's pretty modest actually for a 3-story.
Fully stocked with Hot Pockets.
Probably.
America's finest.
Since Imhotep doesn't need to actually rest, when everybody else is kind of asleep, he's gonna come in and nudge Larry.
Imhotep. Hello. Good morning.
Oh, it is about 2 a.m, so I suppose that is yes.
God. What can I do for you?
I am going to do the reading.
Oh, okay.
I will be in points across the hall. I will be in that room over there, and the door will be closed.
Okay.
No matter how much I scream, or beg, or cry, bloody murder, do not open that door. Do you understand me? If you open that door, you will undo all the work I have done in there.
Yeah, I understand. I've seen the movie.
Young Frankenstein.
Grumble. Not that you can use this, but if by some happenstance with your dark magics you end up needing to use it, I picked this up at the museum and I never had a chance to give it to you. And Larry reaches under his pillow and pulls out a sleep mask that says, "I love my mummy" at the History Museum.
Oh my God, it's so relevant now.
It is relevant.
Oh my God.
He's like, "I'm glad things turned out the way they did, or else this would have been very awkward. But here you go, Imhotep. maybe when you reunite with Ankh Sunamun, maybe she'll think it's funny. But either way, I'll heed your words. No one is getting through that door as long as I am awake, which I'll try my best.
Thank you. He goes to the other room, shuts the door, locks it, pulls out the pages, sets them on the table side by side, begins looking them over, and almost immediately, Larry, you hear, let me out, it was a joke, don't you recognize a joke? For the love of Osiris, let me out!
Mel Brooks.
Oh my god.
He goes on like that for like maybe a minute before he goes back to silence, and he's just reading the pages for the rest of the night.
And so Larry's like, oh, that was quick. I would have thought it would have been all night, but okay.
Every once in a while, you hear like a little, oh, that's not good. Is that supposed to look like that? I remember that being a finger.
Yeah. You hear some slight discordant growling coming from the Eidolon poster.
Oh, God.
The Eidolon poster?
It's not a tiger anymore.
No!
Oh, that's it. Imhotep's got to go.
He's bad.
It's not a tiger anymore. Okay. Would you like me to explain for the listeners at home what is happening with these pages, what we agreed on?
Yes,
What-
please do.
What curse things he's doing.
What we agreed on during our last session, or after our last session, just kind of an idea popped into my head having these pages. Dan has very generously let me do my level up early, so when everybody else levels up, I will skip my level up because I've already done it. And instead of gaining my 7th level into being a cleric, I have taken my first level into being a warlock as I read the pages of the Necronomicon.
Hey, man.
So we have 2 warlocks on the team now. One is better at being a warlock than the other.
Oh, damn.
And my warlock pact that I have chosen is from a supplement that I found that I thought was very good. It is called the Pact of the Parasite. So think venom.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So essentially, as Imhotep is reading and internalizing these words, the runes on his bandages begin to change shape and alter appearance. They begin to jitter and rewrite themselves from ceremonial Coptic inscriptions into abyssal spells, incantations, and runes, and begin to kind of shift up and down him, acting with a little bit of sentience of their own. He begins to lose a tiny bit of control over both his bandages and his runes as they take on a life of their own, and he is basically being parasitically bonded with the things that give him
Yum.
life.
And Dan, you said that I had a roll that you wanted me to make.
Yes, since you have read from the pages of the Necronomicon, and this will happen anytime you advance your warlock stats, you will make a roll on the insanity table. So, roll a D100.
Ooh.
Ruh-roh.
My fancy mummy dice that you got us for Christmas.
You feel compelled to rub hats on yourself.
Oh, curse.
I rolled a 44.
You become attached to a lucky charm, such as a person or an object, and have disadvantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws if you are more than 30 feet away from your designated lucky
Larry
charm.
has to be the lucky charm.
What if it's the Idon poster?
Yes, it's the Eidolon
It's
poster.
my poster.
Oh,
It's my
God.
poster.
You become obsessively fixated on the Eidolon poster, and if you are ever more than 30 feet away from the poster, you will have disadvantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws.
Okay.
Just doing a random sleight of hand check.
Just, ooh.
Am I allowed to narrate how Imhotep has changed when everybody wakes up the next morning?
Absolutely.
As everybody wakes up, Imhotep is in one of the more leisure areas, and he's just reading the newspaper. Just keeping up on what's happening in London, man.
Oh, yeah.
And his right arm, he usually has the 4 bandages kind of flowing around him. He has 3 of them flowing around, and the 4th one has been tightly bound around his arm. You can't see any of the beef jerky under his arm. It's wrapped all the way to his fingertips, and there is nothing being shown underneath.
If you wanted to do this just to cause whatever chaos, Jack would probably have some robes, because Jack likes to pretend like he's high society, but he's really not.
Yeah, you walk in and Imhotep has on a smoking jacket. He's wearing some slippers. He's got like a fez.
He's got a cup
Yeah.
of tea.
Yeah.
He's reading the political cartoons.
Exactly.
Ew.
Old man.
For those who want to see it, there is one more thing.
I will see. I'll wake up. Since I'm so big, I'll just be sleeping in the living room anyway, on the couch.
Mary, what you notice is that his left eye is the same shade of blue that it always has been. His right eye is a very slightly different shade of blue every single time you see it.
Oh.
Every time he blinks, every time you look away, every time you blink, maybe there's a little bit more purple in it. Maybe there's a little bit of a darker shade of blue. Maybe it's a little bit more green. But every single time you look at his right eye, the shade of blue is different.
Ooh, edgy dichromia.
Shut up. As you see this guy just kind of looking through his morning paper. Oh, good morning, everybody.
So I'm just like blinking. Wait a minute. I look at him, look away, look back at him, look away, and I just look at him, blink. So essentially, Mary's just staring at Imhotep, and I'm constantly blinking, making sure I'm not crazy.
Imhotep just staring back at him. Are you okay?
Your right eye. It's constantly changing color. Why is that?
I am sure I have no idea what you're talking about.
Sips tea.
And dribbles on my smoking jacket.
Of course.
You have earned my trust 1,000 times over. But if something is going on, I do think maybe we should know, especially if it's dangerous.
I think everything we do has an air of danger to it. Don't you agree?
Oh, yeah. But after what happened with Oxuna Moon, the game has changed.
I have read the pages, and they might have had a small physical effect upon me. If you're seeing something with my eye, then it is likely that. Nothing more.
Well, I know you probably have a good use for them, but just be careful, my friend.
He nods. I will be. I assure you I will be.
But I do have a small question for you.
Yes.
What exactly is the Necronomicon?
It is a tome of blasphemies and magics from beyond our time, our place, our understanding. It is not written in the tongue of man.
Oh, so like the Bible then. I want to just be clear that was Mary talking. So, because look, I've seen people hold up a book called the Holy Bible and they have committed atrocities right in front of me in the name of their God. So honestly, this kind of sounds like the same thing to me.
Yes.
Well, D&Dark has been a very fun time, everybody. It was a good run.
Yeah, I think that's where we'll close up.
Imhotep is kind of like, you can think of this like that if the gods in the Bible had tentacles and wings and eyes and forms that would drive the normal man insane. If you would like to believe that, and I am not saying you should.
Phantom's making French press coffee in the corner, and he's like, I'm pretty sure they do have eyes.
Oh my
They have
god.
many, and many wings. Do not be afraid.
That's a very good point.
So yeah, Mary, you get like little flashes in your head of biblically accurate angels as Imhotep is describing that.
Yeah.
But you're pretty sure that's not what he's talking about.
So essentially, this is just a book of pure evil and darkness then.
Essentially.
Joy.
Hey, can I talk to Erik?
Go ahead and have a conversation with
Yeah.
Erik.
So whatever time of day it is, whether it's French press time or getting ready for bed,
I'd suggest the day before.
day before, yeah. So before we like get ready to go to sleep, I want to try and catch Erik when he's not with anybody else.
Eric's got a face mask on the not mask side of his face.
Awesome.
What's up, Larry?
I just wanted to check in with you. I got everyone something from the gift shop, and I wanted to make sure you got yours. And Larry pulls out a little snow globe. It's one of those snow globes that has a little music box in the bottom. So when you wind up the bottom, it plays music and then kicks up the little particles. I was looking around in the shop for a while, and I didn't really see anything that I thought you would like. But then I found this little guy, and it plays music, and I remembered you were a little bit of a music aficionado. out of everything in there, this seemed to be the thing that I connected with you the most. And he hands you the little snow globe.
Oh, thanks, Larry. And he's going to check the price tag. And I assume it's low.
Probably.
And then he's going to slowly put it into a trash can nearby.
Oh,
Whatever you want to do with it is fine. But there are some things that are concerning me that I did want to ask you about.
Is it about Bone Man? Because he seems to be getting weird.
Ew, that is a whole other cup of tea. But I wanted to ask about you. I've noticed a few times that when the subject of face swaps or skin changing, you always seem to perk up a little bit. So I just wanted to ask, are you running from something? Are you trying to hide your identity or?
Oh, come now. Imagine the practical applications of physically changing one's appearance for theater, embodying any character at all. Why, if I could just play each one, every show would be better.
I mean, sure, yeah. Honestly, I have no idea, but I imagine, I don't know, it feels like you've got such an effect and magics for it that it seems like you wouldn't need something so intense. But that's fine. I wanted to let you know if it was something you were running from, that if you need our help with anything, we definitely would be there to support you. I hope you know that.
Certainly. I trust each and every one of you.
is that really true now?
You're not part of this, Jack.
Okay. If you feel like you can't trust everyone, I hope you know you can trust me. I don't know what you've been through, and I don't want to pry, but if there's anything I could do to help return the favor.
If you don't want to pry, don't do it.
Fair enough. And I will turn and leave. And just frustrated, he's going to activate the lover's card.
I fucking knew it.
Yeah, of course, because you're not going to tell me anything. You're not going to open up. No, we're going to do it. And there is no check on this. It is just you use an action to know what a creature most desires once per short rest.
How specific do I have to be?
Since there's no check, I will leave that up to y'all's discretion.
All right. I'm tipping my hand big, which feels bad, but you know that more than anything else, above all, Phantom wants to be reunited with, wants to regain ownership of or recreate the love of his life, and that it is not a human being.
Whoa. All right. Fascinating. Yeah. So feeling a little bad that he has to activate that card, Larry will walk away from that situation, feeling kind of sad that Erik wasn't willing to open up on his own. But when that knowledge kind of like hits him in the head, he's like, not what I was expecting, but all right. Okay. And then he's just going to go off and leave Erik on his own.
Phantom is now not suspicious of, but like wary of having time alone with Wolfman. He does not like talking about deeper things. So they're friends, but like it's gonna be avoidy.
No, that's fair.
But we're the three best friends.
In groups of 3.
Groups of 3. Power of 3.
Jax wanted to chat with Larry for a little bit, so unless anyone else wants to hit something like real quick.
No, I think my thing could be saved for last.
Larry, you want a drink?
Sure. Yeah, why not?
As far as I remember, you said you drink whiskey, right?
Yeah.
So he goes over to the liquor cabinet, pours 2 glasses. I wanted to ask what it is that you know or remember with your transition between the wolf, or what the shared possible consciousness is.
Oh, and he takes a swig of liquor. He's like, shared consciousness. I don't really know what the wolf knows. Is as far as I've been told by Maleva, through the different transitions and the different people that the wolf has gone through, it is sort of filtered by the people, but I I don't really have much consciousness except just flashes when the wolf takes over my body.
So, would it be surprising to you if I told you that the wolf and I talked?
Yes. That'd be very surprising because as far as I understood, it was just a gnarling, terrible, feral monster.
You're not too far off the mark. The wolf had made a comment, and it said that when there's something that you become agitated with, it does somewhat affect the wolf. And I know you're an individual that is a bit nervous. Before you guys, I didn't work with groups. I didn't want to or trust anyone. And I'm realizing that I like our little band. There's some things that are slightly concerning to me, but I know that when we're together, it seems like there's a lot of things that we're able to accomplish. I don't know how tied we are together, and that fact does slightly scare me. And I hope I haven't been causing you too much anguish over this. But I've told you that you're a good person. And I tell you this because I think it's something that you might need to hear multiple times, because you seem to be very concerned and willing to sacrifice yourself to a great extent. And I know you're doing it for the possible chance at saving us or rescuing us. But what I would ask is that you trust us, that we all care about you, and we don't want you to go too far from us.
I really appreciate that. It's not that I don't trust all of you. I trust all of you with my life. But it's the simple fact that I don't trust myself. Even before the wolf, my life was a bit of a disaster and a mess. But you know what? I made do with it. I knew I would live my life modestly and just kind of keep to myself, and things would go bad, and I try to make the best of it. But then the wolf happened, and everything just became worse. The few people that I've managed to bring close into my life were destroyed. I carry that guilt with me, and I know ultimately I'm gonna end up hurting you all if I don't fix this. When I figure out how to use this pendant to rid myself of the curse, then I will know that at the very least, no matter what the outcome is, I at least saved you all from the wolf. And then maybe if I do that, maybe if I can right my wrongs, I will actually feel like I'm a good person, instead of someone that's just trying their hardest to pretend to be a good person.
That's the thing that I fear. I'm afraid that if it can change something so drastic that is, let's just say, an eldritch god, I don't know. If it can do that, then does that mean that you'll still be you? I don't want to imagine losing this group. Maybe it's selfish of me, but I find myself relying on you guys much more than I should. And I actually don't regret it. I don't know if this would help, but I'd like you to practice a positivity mantra or whatever it is. It's ridiculous, I know.
It's funny, out of everyone here, I feel like I'd be the one trying to get everyone on some mantra. But it's nice to hear that from you, because I didn't think that would be something you would think of.
Well, I'll absolutely deny it if you tell everyone.
All right, there we are. That makes everything make sense now.
But because you were the first to attempt to reach out, I thought it was only fitting that I share this with you. Tell yourself that you are loved, you are kind, and you are trusted. However many times it takes, hopefully you'll come to believe it, regardless of whatever happens to us. Now, where the fuck is Phantom? And just gets up and walks off.
I think he was having a spa day. I was not able to ask very many questions.
In the other room, while you're having that very wholesome and heartwarming conversation, Imhotep is staring into the void, and the void blinks.
Ah, shit.
I did not expect it to blink. He says this out loud. He's sitting there reading the newspaper, looking at like mid 1800s Garfield. He goes, "Hey, you're a cat. You're not supposed to be blinking."
It would be Garfield, wouldn't it? So Larry's gonna sit there after Jack gets up and leaves. It's like, well, that makes things a lot more difficult. God damn it, Jack. You had a good point. So now he's just gonna sit there and really just feel very conflicted.
All right, and does that wrap up?
I did say that I wanted to have a chat with Phantom.
When you approach, Phantom has now added slices of cucumber to his eyes, and there is one on the mask.
You enjoying yourself?
It's important to rest and retain one's beauty.
Absolutely.
What's up?
Been curious. What brought you to that church?
I said before, just a tour of the English countryside. That's all. France was getting a little passé.
If it would make you feel better, I could share something with you. Or how about this? I'll give you an invisibility potion if you can share a little bit.
Jack, I'm magic, right? I could turn myself invisible if I wanted to.
Yeah, but you don't have to use any of your magic because we know that you're much more valuable.
Flattery. I do appreciate it. But no, my excellent and exquisite magic definitely beat out your banal invisibility potions. Why do you want to know about me, Jack? What do you gain by prodding?
I'm attempting to remedy our very first interaction.
Consider it forgotten. I watch your back now. We're all good.
I just want to make sure that if there's a way that I can help you with your goal, then I'm willing to.
That I do appreciate, but at the moment, it seems entirely out of reach.
Before I go, there was a fire that I heard about.
It was one of the greatest tragedies of modern history. Yeah. The Paris Opera House burned to the ground. Nobody knows why. And anybody who comes up with a story, it's certainly speculative.
Of course. 100% speculative. I was just curious if there was any other information that you might have, considering as how it was your home country. Sorry.
Some vulgar act, I'm sure. The working class must have been very frustrated that they couldn't afford a ticket. You know how they get.
Yes. Well,
Hey, are you as worried about Bone Zone as I am?
Reveal to me your secret cat of orange.
Don't go towards the Garfield, Imhotep. Don't go.
It did something with my tiger, I must know.
Bone Zone. That's a good one. I am pretty fond of Dusty.
I'll keep that in mind. But he took a little bit of umbrage with it, and I want to piss him off less now that I think he's got darker magic.
He may not be as bad as I originally thought. If he was willing to actually kill his own wife to gain more power, I think I'd be a little bit more concerned. But considering as how he was a bit of a pain in the ass when he told us one thing and then he reneged on it, I don't know.
My concern is that he's got pages that look pretty dark and evil, and he doesn't even have the stomach to kill one mummy lord. I don't think that anything good's going to happen when he looks into them.
It's not just a mummy lord. It's someone he was in love with. I don't know anything about it, but
It's trite.
well, avail yourself to whatever I've got. I think I'm going to go try and do this thing called sleep.
I know it's difficult for you. If you want, we can turn off all the lights early at like 8, and then you won't have so much shining directly into your pupils.
I appreciate that. And he reaches into his pocket and holds up a flap of cloth, and it says on it, "Now museum, now you don't."
Yeah.
You guys have fun. I'm turning in.
Is the snow globe in the trash can, you monster?
Sure is.
Damn it. What a villain.
All right. Well, if everyone's all wrapped up on what they wanted to do, then Ben, it's all over to you.
All right, so I call everyone into like the main living room, and I just take a few deep breaths. So I'm like, my father, Victor Frankenstein, is in Northampton, and things aren't going well. He's either working with Rainier to create another one of me, or he's out on his own going back to his old tricks.
Do we know for sure that he's working with Raynor?
Honestly, I have no idea. He could be coerced. He could be under duress. He could have been promised something, an even better creation. I don't know. But what I do know is that if he's trying to create another one of me, that cannot happen.
Fortunately, I have some experience with kidnapping, so this shouldn't be too bad.
Huh?
Imhotep just kind of looks over at Phantom as he says that. I would be concerned if this is not entirely on brand.
You're right. God damn it.
There are things that you need to know about me when I first came to. When I first woke up, I was like a child. Essentially, just like how my doppelganger was. The village where I woke up and where I assumed was my father's home, villagers started coming out with torches and pitchforks, yelling, "Kill the monster, kill the abomination." And I just ran into the woods. There was a cottage and an old blind man, and I hid outside his walls, just listening in, learning language, being able to speak and live and survive on my own, just by listening and watching from afar. And for the longest time, all I wanted was vengeance against Frankenstein. So in the dead of night, on his wedding night, I murdered his wife in cold blood.
Phantom is smiling and nodding in approval.
Larry's like, oh shit.
Why are you nodding? That was a horrible thing.
It seems poetic to me.
Well, eventually I chased him up into the Arctic, or he was chasing me. I led him on his goose chase because he wanted me done for. But then I just got to thinking, I was like, you know what? He's not worth anything. I need to strike it out on my own. I just want to live, to survive. So I found him in the Arctic, took his journal, and I vowed that no other being like me would be created again. And I left him up there. I don't want my father to die. I'll admit that when I first came to, I wanted him to suffer, but now he deserves some form of atonement, and I don't want him to die. Stopped? Yes. Die? No. But if we get there, and it turns out that he has gone so far off the rails, and there's no way that he could come back, then I need your help to permanently stop him by any means necessary.
I'm in.
That was very quick to answer.
It sounds like fun. This is right up my alley.
Your idea of fun is concerning. That being said, we have all agreed to work as a team. And if this is important to you, then it is important to all of us. It being fun notwithstanding.
I want to go over to Mary, sit next to him. When I newly learned of my curse and I was trying to reach out to the only people I knew, my father being one of them, he didn't believe me. He was going to lock me in the sanitarium, where I, more likely than not, was going to destroy many people. That is not the first time that non-listening asshole, he did many other things. My dad couldn't be bothered to plan my brother's funeral, so I had to do it. So, you know what, Mary? Fathers are assholes. And whatever you need to do to deal with Victor, we'll be there for you. You're right, getting revenge isn't the way to do it, but...
It could be, though.
I mean...
I'm about to cast silence on the Phantom again.
Revenge, you're right, won't make you feel better. But we're here to support you in finding that peace.
And I swore to all of you that I would help you find your calm in return. I guess one of the reasons why I led him on that goose chase, why I tortured him, was because he never gave me an answer as to why. Why am I here? Why did he do it? Why did he decide to, as some call, play God? I just don't know why. What purpose do I have? Jack, you stole the brain that I currently use, and you don't even remember the name of the tombstone that who it belonged to. I don't know if I'm a...
Madeline.
What?
The brain's name.
Well, presumably the person's name, and then the brain was just in that.
Her name was Madeline.
That's what the paper said underneath. It was taken from a university. I don't want you to presume that you have to take up the mantle of someone else's life. This is your own. I don't think you're going to get the answer that you want in asking Victor or anybody, why are you here?
Honestly, Jack, I don't know what kind of answer I was hoping for in the first place.
I mean, if what you're saying is correct and Victor is not exactly working with Raynor voluntarily, then if there's a possibility that we can get him out of there safely, maybe he'll join us.
There's still some conversations he and I need to have, and I can only imagine those are not going to be pleasant conversations. I did kill his wife, after all.
But you know what? We've all done terrible things.
What do you mean we all have done terrible things?
But looking at Jack, if we can move forward and try and make choices to be good people, then that's all we can ask for.
I thank you, my friends. Let us rest up and prepare, because I don't know what we're expecting in Northampton, but I don't have a good feeling about this.
We transition overnight, over day, whatever time of day this conversation's happening, into the carriage heading towards the town of Northampton. It is winding up a dirt path that is surrounded by an increasing number of trees. The presence of the forest and the woods around you is getting a little bit thicker and denser. As you approach the front gates, a large little town that is subtly blending into the forest. Everything is kind of faded and dull and gray and feels lifeless. As you are bringing the carriage up to these front gates, you can see that while there are many lights on in all of the different buildings that have strange, jagged architecture, there doesn't seem to be a lot of life or commotion around this town. As you walk in through the front, you do see there are some horse troughs, and one of them is being filled by a gentleman that seems kind of familiar to both Mary and Jack, who, as you get a closer look at him, is a little bit lopsided, got somewhat of a hunch, got somewhat of a disfigured face, walks with a slow gait.
I'm going to go undetectable and stealth up on him.
Go ahead and roll stealth.
And my dice have not been kind to me. I'm terrified.
I think the lowest you can get is a 16, so...
I mean, we can only hope. I'm going to burn luck.
Oh my god.
Oh my, it was that bad? Jesus Christ.
Really?
I told you my dice have not been kind to me today.
I mean, if it was anything other than a 1.
It was a 2.
Ah, okay.
Oh, wow.
I think a 17 would have been fine.
Okay, that's better. That's a natural 20.
Ah, there you
Oh.
go.
Holy cow.
With a nat 20, you approach this figure from behind. He has not noticed you. He is filling up the horse trough, kind of muttering to himself. You overhear, coming from a mouth with a bit of an oversized tongue, "My, it have been forever since we've gotten work from the master. We are in need of more finances."
Igor?
And he looks up at you with confusion, a slight little bit of shock, and then a little bit of delight. I do believe there is some misunderstanding here. My name is Fritz. It is a common misconception.
I'm going to pull up my short sword and stick it in his back.
And he says, "Ow!"
We know who you are. How about you just play nice with us?
"I'm afraid I don't know who you are, good sir."
And I'm going to jam the sword a little bit deeper in.
"Ow! Could you maybe move the sword a little bit to the left? I've got a mighty terrible itch."
Imhotep kind of nudges Larry. I think maybe we should follow. I don't think this is going to go well.
Nope, you're right. All right.
This guy's got guts.
"I do. I've got them in my container over there."
Oh my god. Hello there. You said your name was Fritz. Would you happen to know about someone named Igor?
Oh, why, yes, actually. Igor is my cousin. We get confused for each other all the time.
Oh?
Are you looking for him?
Yes, if we could see him quite quickly.
All right, well, I might be able to help you out there, but you might need to do a little bit of legwork yourself.
I would help us a lot, because he will stab.
All right. and he pulls from his cloak a bell that he rings out, and he shouts, "Igor! Are you there, Igor?" And you can hear from every direction around you a lot of murmuring and muttering, and you can see poking out of every building, out of every crevice.
Oh no, he's turning on the stuff from the hidden layer.
Oh no, what are we?
It's gonna be a shit ton of Igors.
Oh,
Oh,
Igor!
Yes, Fritz, what is it you need? Do you have some work from someone needing something? Yes, Fritz. Shady and unreputable.
oh my god.
And Fritz says to you, "I'm sure that one of my cousins is the Igor you are looking for."
Good.
We are the outcasts, the misfits you might say. We deal with the nightmares that you run away from every single day. We know the world is a gruesome little place, but us outsiders, we've developed quite a taste for the grisly and morbid, the ghastly and the horrid. We know it's awful, dreadful, but we like it. Just another haunted night, shrouded with unearthly fright. So when you're oh so terrified, you know who to call. The world is falling apart, we'll never take it to heart. Some monsters and creatures and spirits and specters and all, let's all have a ball.
I guess I'll be your person that understands sort of the magic that's here. The speak above table, the warlock, who's it, what's it's. I will
we
help.
haven't discussed it yet. I have not mentioned that yet.
No,
And I don't know
yes.
what's happening to my accent. This is turning into something else entirely today. Hello, I am Imhotep.
Imhotep.
I don't
but
know
yes.
what just happened to my voice.
It's the magic of the necronomicon. It changes a man.
It changes a man into whatever that was.